Okay, this is a tutorial about creating shadows in Inkscape to make jewelry, necklaces, earrings, really just whatever you want to make. It doesn't have to be for those things. It's really anything that you want. So this is Inkscape. Well, let me just get a new one. This is Inkscape. It's free if you go to inkscape.org. And get the 64-bit for Windows and download the EXE version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a name. You click the A symbol for text, and I'm going to type the name Leah. And then you can go here where it says sans serif and just choose any font that you like. If you're creating names, and let me just going to make this a little bigger, and I'm clicking control and I'm pulling the edge so you can see it better. Actually, this may actually work. Sometimes you have to be careful if the lines are too thin. And if that's the case, when you cut it out, you may have a little problem with the lines, but this looks like it may be okay. So this is a text, and we've got to change it to, a vector image. So we're going to go to path. We're going to go to object to path. Okay. Then we're going to go to object right next to path, and we're going to ungroup. Now you notice that each of the letters are separate now. So if there's anything you wanted to do to these letters at this point, you could, like for instance, I'll take this L. Okay. You see how that's having a hard time connecting? So I'll just go here where it says enable snapping, and I'll disable it because I want to move it wherever I want. So I'm going to do it this way. Okay. And then I'm going to select everything again, just the way I had it. Path. And now we're going to combine it. So at this point, I'm going to do Control-C, or I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here. This will be my top layer. I'll go back to my bottom layer, and I'm going to go to Path, Dynamic Offset. When I click that, it changes to this type of pointer, and you'll see a little diamond box here. When you get that, you can make that background as thick as you'd like. And I will leave it here for the time being because that seems to work. Okay, so I'm going to click back to my regular pointer right over here, my regular one, and I'm going to click the top layer. And let's just say I'm going to go here at the very bottom of the screen and choose a color. Let's just choose pink, right? And then we're going to put that's the way that will look. Okay. Now, but before we do that, we've got to combine this. We've got to make it a union. We've got to make it one word. So we're going to go back to path, and we're going to choose union. And now we're going to put it here. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more name just so that you can see how that works. I'm going to do Layla. It's going to, let's make it a little bigger so we can see again. Okay. Layla. And I'm going to choose, let's find a different font this time. This is where I spend all of my time, guys. I spend so much time looking for fonts. Very particular about, oh, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Let's say, Soul Maker in the Mountains. That looks like it will work. I don't know why everything is all the way over there. Let me move it. I do Control Shift and I scroll to get it to do that. Okay, so there it is. I like that. And I have to do the exact same thing with this name here. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger, but I need to go to Path, Object to Path, the very first one. Then I will need to ungroup. I don't need to make any changes. I like it the way it is. I'm going to go back to Path and combine it. Okay, at this point, I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to paste Paste it over here. That will be my top layer. I'll go back here and I will go to dynamic offset, and that's where I get the diamond little box here, where I can make this as large as I want. Okay. Now that's fine. Now I'm going to go back here. Let me show you something. When I hover over the name, the top layer, do you see those edges of the letters? That's what we have to fix before we send back over to Cricut, because those are going to show up as white if we don't. So you click the pointer again, the select tool, path, and then we want to do union. Now if we were to go back to this, you see it's all one path now. You don't see that anymore. And let's just choose this real cool blue this time for Layla. Okay. Now, in the event that your background doesn't look quite the way you want it, you can click the F2 or the nodes again, click it, and there it is. There is that little box where you can make it bigger or smaller or however you want it. Okay. All right. So now we are good to go. You select everything, go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call this Leah and Layla. All right. So I'm going to save it to my desktop so I can find it quickly. This says Inkscape SVG, but we want the plain SVG, not the Inkscape one. We want the plain. So I'm going to save it. And that's it. I'm going to open Cricut. And then I'm going to show you one more thing and I'll be done. Trying to make it very quick. It's starting design space. I'm going to click new project. I'm going to make it larger for you. And then I'm going to upload those names I just created. They're on my desktop, Leah and Layla. There it is. We're going to open it. Look, there it is. Very nice and neat. Okay. Insert. I inserted those images. Okay, now let's look at this. There they are. What you want to do is ungroup. Now each one of these they're a layer. Okay. So what if I wanted, to make it appear more 3D? I can move that around any way I want to. I can just leave it in the center. Okay. Same thing with the Layla. I can make it appear more 3D. Just whatever I want to do with that. Okay. And then when you are done, now if you're making the jewelry, what you want to do is print about 4 of these for your background, or between 2 and 4. It just depends. And for the front name, if you're doing a flat cardstock, maybe 2, but if you're doing glitter or some other textured top layer, just do 1. Okay. And then you would just send it to print. That's all you do. Okay. I mean, you have to do it for both names. I didn't create that many for the other one, but that's pretty much how you do it. I'm going to show you one more thing. I don't know if you've seen, okay, so this is in the back now. So I go to arrange right up here, send to front, and there it is. Okay. So that's how that works.